Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie. This is the Burton Time Thief. I rode this with my Union Force bindings and Nitro Team BOA boots. I got this at the very end of this short, horrible season, so I only got it out in late spring conditions. And I compared this same day against the Burton Counterbalance and the Burton Full Nelson. You can see those comparisons up on Patreon and YouTube for paid members. And this is an honest, objective review for you, the consumer, and I can do that thanks to this community support, but especially thanks to our sponsor, Blower Board Shop. They've been around forever, selling to snowboarders longer than most resorts have been allowing snowboarders on the hill. So if you want to support honest, objective content and a great shop, click through our links to Blower Board Shop and then spend your hard-earned cash there. It would be greatly appreciated. Let's talk sizing. This is a 160, and this was really fun in the clean conditions I rode it. If I was to get a daily driver for how I like to ride, I would want the 156. So if you're curious about what might work best for you, click through to the actual review at thegoodride.com and follow the sizing recommendations that I put together there. Let's talk construction. From base to edges to sidewall, construction seems very well done. The one problem I have with this is this top sheet. It's really prone to scuffs and scratching, so this paint will probably be scraped away around the binding area by the end of a season with most bindings out there. It feels pretty light for a somewhat wide 160. Let's talk shape here. This is tapered with only 5 millimeters of taper in the tail, but there's a good bit less surface area in the tail. And then you have a much bigger, longer, more directional nose. On reference, you're sitting pretty centered on board, and you have some setback, but not a lot. Then you get into this directional camber profile that I really like from Burton. There might be just a hint of early rise before the tail, but it's mostly camber from the tail, going well past the front inserts, and then there's a little bit of early rise before this long nose. It's not like full-on camber, but it's best for advanced expert riders, and I would only suggest this for committed intermediates if you're really gonna ride a lot of days. But this tracks super well, one footing off a chair, going down a long flat cat track, and has a very consistent feel underfoot in all conditions. When it comes to edge hold, the Burton Time Thief held an edge pretty well in the firm snow that I rode. It didn't feel like it let go as easy as older Burton family tree models did, but it was still a good bit behind the Burton Counterbalance in same-day tests. That just has much more grip and considerably more disruption in the side cut. It's got a medium, bordering on medium stiff flex. Down in the tail, there's a little give. The nose feels pretty consistent with the flex throughout the board. Buttering on the tail is doable. Nose is a little easier. And the way this board ollies, it just has so much pop. And when it comes to uneven snow performance, I did not get this in any kind of soft, thick, uneven snow, but in hard, uneven snow in the morning, it did not have an ultra chattery vibration to it. So I think overall, this is gonna be a good all-day ride. And if you throw this around switch, it does pretty well for how directional it feels. This is a great board for getting air. It's great from everything from small, complicated side hits that often have a rutted, difficult track into the air. And if you want to go big, you can, especially off-piste. There's lots of landing gear behind you. And I'd be okay in a softer to medium pipe, not really a jibber board. There are much better boards out there. And then when it comes to turning, for a board this wide for my size 9 boots, initiated a turn pretty well. If I was on the 56, which seems to better fit my specs and riding preference, this would turn medium fast to fast. So I think this is going to be a great board in the trees for most riders out there. Then when you commit this edge to a harder turn, I just love the way it sets you up for a turn and then springs you out of it. It has this Burton turning magic that's really special, and I couldn't get enough of it. In same-day tests against any other board I tried, like the Burton Full Nelson, the Counterbalance. Those were all very fun turners, but this had some magic to it that had me thinking about this board for days after I got off it. You can front foot, center weight, or back foot weight this turn because it has that balanced free ride geometry in the side cut that makes it feel almost like it's not tapered on groomers, but then you feel that taper in powder when it gets softer and the tail sinks a little more. Not a super hard circle carver, but doable. Across the groomer turns were super fun and satisfying. Medium radius turns were incredibly fun. Down the line turns were doable. If you want a straight line and really point it, it's gonna stay composed and the side cut isn't going to fight you, but there are many better boards out there for really bombing. Base glide was good. It's a little prone to base burn, but the wax retention is pretty good. Not as fast as Burton's high-end bases used to be, but still pretty fast. Now, when it comes to powder float, I would have loved to have tried this, but it was a horrible winter. But with my experience from so many other Burton boards, it's gonna float pretty well for an all mountain board. So if you ride more steeper angle terrain, like riding your board a little more centered on powder, this is gonna be great, but it's not gonna be terrible in medium to low angle powder. So overall, this was my favorite board in all the Burton testing this year, and one of my favorite boards to turn all season. It's special. I just hope Burton doesn't do what they always do, is release a board. Many people in the community here fall in love with it, and then it's gone the following season. So I hope this sticks around for a few years at least, because I'm going to be recommending this a ton.